It's getting harder and harder for people who make wild claims like the ones you just heard to win elections on substance. But coming up, they may not have to. America's largest tech companies are overwhelmingly in the Democratic column, and they're not afraid to use their power for ideological purposes. Tonight, we have a remarkable guest joining us. He's a current Google employee who says his company is far from politically neutral. Greg Coppola is a current Google engineer, and he joins us tonight. Greg, thanks very much for coming on.
Hey, thanks.
So,
great to be
here. First of all, I'm grateful that you're here. I'm surprised that you're willing to come on and speak to us live, but we're thankful. You're telling us that Google is what they claim not to be, which is partisan and political. Is that correct?
Well, here's what I would say. I would say that as a user of various tech products, I noticed a lot of the same biases that a lot of people have been concerned about in terms of the end result. And
yes.
The one thing I just want to communicate to anyone maybe who isn't used to launching software products into production, that basically any software launch reflects the outcome of thousands of human decisions. If you made different human decisions, you would get a different result. And so if you see a result, if you see a resulting end product that seems to encode a bias of one sort or another, there must have been that bias in the process that produced the end result. Because like I say, you know, different human decisions that went into the process would produce completely different results.
So this gets to the core business at Google and the core question about Google, which is Google search. And so all human information essentially flows through this portal. And if you ask Google, and I have, how is it sorted? They will say by an algorithm. And the suggestion is that it's unbiased because a machine is doing it. And you're saying that that's not true.
Right. In fact, in my experience, you know, as algorithms get more complicated and more advanced, they only have that only means that they have more human decisions going into them. So there's actually more opportunities for human beings to influence, you know, the final product.
So this is a meaningful. This is not an academic conversation because we've got a presidential campaign on the horizon, and again, all American voters get the bulk of their information about everything, including candidates, on the internet, and Google, of course, is the portal to the internet. So do you think that the biases you're describing will influence the outcome of the election? How could they not?
I think it is going to. If people aren't able to think critically about all the information that they're being given, especially if there's kind of this illusion that maybe somehow technology exists in a world that's completely apart from humans, that somehow you can create a computer that will think for itself and be free of any human biases, then, you know, people could be easily misled or manipulated.
Will you be, so you're basically saying that Google's a liberal company and its liberalism will tilt the presidential election. Are you going to be punished for coming on our show to say this?
I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm on administrative leave at the moment, and I'm not sure about the future.
Okay. Well, I hope that you'll come back and tell us what happens. Greg Coppola, thank you very much for that.
Thanks very much.